But more than that, Nick Matthew, when he talks about team members and his team and what's best for the team, it comes through as a leader, an operational leader who cares about his troops, just like when I was in the military. We didn't go anywhere alone. We went with our group. And, as an officer in the business, I wanted my troops to eat first. I wanted my troops to be taken care of first, because then they will lay down their lives for you, which is what this is about. The best businesses have that feeling where people are teams, they're partnerships, they're in there. You can trust the people you're with. And maybe it's as simple as they're waking up at 5:30 and they're working hard all day for the business. But that is the key, is that operational expertise in the private equity firm is the big difference between success and not success. The greatest leader I ever had was my leader in the Gulf. When I was in the Gulf War, I was a 23-year-old lieutenant, one of the younger people in the squadron. We had 40 pilots, and the commander was an individual named Lieutenant Colonel Bruce Wright, who was the gray old age near death of 38. And, we couldn't believe how old Bruce Wright was, but he was an incredible leader. And, leadership is lonely sometimes. When we would come back from a mission and we lost some aircraft and we lost pilots, and we would come back, the lieutenants, of which there are 10, could sit and go in and commiserate and talk about our feelings and discuss, what happened. The commander, man, it's lonely at the top. He didn't have anybody else to talk to. He had to put forward a good face. He had to keep everybody motivated and not panicky. And yet I know that when he went back to his room and he sat down, he said, wow, we lost 2 people today, and wanted to talk it out with somebody, but he couldn't because he was a leader. And so that's one of the reasons I like your YPO group, because it gives these leaders somebody else to talk to that are in their situation. But in the combat situation, when we were deployed to Doha and we were flying combat sorties every day and losing people, commander doesn't have anybody to talk to. They have to fall back on their morals and their work ethic and just doing what's right.
How did you maintain your relationship with your family while achieving such high levels of success?
That's a good question, and it's hard. That's one of the hard things, because when you're grinding at whatever job you're in, whatever spouse or both spouses are grinding and you're trying to raise kids, there's like 5 jobs involved there. When I had young kids and I was working 100 hours a week and my spouse was trying to manage everything, it's a lot going on. So at that point, the most important decision you make in life is who you marry. If you choose to get married, you've got to get that one right. And if you do, the rest will fall from that. And then, as we talked about earlier, you've got to approach every day that you're going to wake up. And if you want to build something, you're going to roll your sleeves up and work. And whether that's building a family or building a business or building a country or helping a state like Gary, fortunately for us, all of us, was willing to try to do, it's going to take a lot of hard work. And so as long as you have that mentality that you're just going to work hard every day and try to do the right thing, everything else will fall. The biggest fear in business is just failure. Fortunately, I know a lot of people, and I have a lot of people depending on me. I don't want to let them down. I want to do well for them. And in our business, that means producing great investment returns. If I tell somebody I think this will be a good investment, I want to be true to that. I'm going to die trying. So that's really, really important for me. Fortunately, that's kind of worked out. In the military, for me personally, in the flying business, I had no exposure to, I'd never been a private pilot. I didn't really know how to fly. And in 1 year, I went from a standing start to soloing a supersonic trainer in the dual jet trainer in the Air Force. And the first time I took off solo in that, I had a sleepless night the night before that. The first time I did a night solo, and I was by myself in this thing at night. I had to get it back. I'm pretty proud of surmounting those sleepless nights the night before that. But then, like everything, it becomes old hat. So I'm proud I made it through that.